some of these sites, they literally have 1 million solar panels. If you have 1 million solar panels, that's 2 million connectors. That's 4 million pieces of hardware. There's just like so much at that scale to even inspect and keep track of. And the system's supposed to last 20 years. And it lives outside, and the solar plants are built in the harshest environments because that's where the cheapest land is. If you build a really big solar site, you may not know there's a systemic issue or a quality defect on the product. If you never go out there and take a look around, you get into year 5, you have to redo everything. It's millions of dollars. The robot's really the only way to do the most comprehensive analysis of your whole site, right?
Yes, this is the Mark Haney Show, on a mission to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution right here in the hometown we love. And we do that by building the Backyard Advantage, the most connected community in the world for local entrepreneurs. And we like to share the stories of winning. And today, I think you're going to hear what I will call the greatest story ever told about the backyard. We're going to share the story of Derek Chase. He has built another great solar company. He is joining me. It's OnSight Technology. We'll talk about what's happening with OnSight. And then we're also joined by the co-founder of the Growth Factory, Rick Spencer, who is the other greatest story ever told about the backyard. But I think I've shared that story a time or two on the show. Definitely every time I introduce you, I'm sharing the story of Rick Spencer and the backyard. But today's all about Derek. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that Derek and I when we saw Rick come up the steps and Derek was wearing a Giants shirt, I'm like, oh man, I better go get a Giants shirt on. And the reason, if you're watching this on YouTube, is because Rick is a Dodgers fan. So Derek obviously decided to give him a hard time. I joined in on the razzing. So Derek, welcome to the show.
Yeah, right on. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So now let me and Rick, maybe you can help me with this. I'm going to lead the story as I see it about Derek and why I see it as the greatest story ever told, because it goes back 10 years ago today. That's one of the reasons why this is such a great story, is that 10 years ago, it was actually October 10th, 2015. It was show number 13, right? This is our 10th anniversary of the show. Derek comes on the show, and a really inspirational story about a company that he had founded with a bunch of high school buddies, and it grew really nicely. And it was in the solar industry, and they ended up having a nice exit several years later. And so that was a great story. And, one of the things that, success breeds success. And the way that this story continued is Derek decided to start another company. And, it's that success breeds success. And he brought it to me, brought it to the Growth Factory. And we back founders, and we said, yeah, how do we help? And next thing you know, he's investing into the Growth Factory, which is really cool. He's an investor into the Growth Factory. And then we took some of his money and some other people's money, our money, and invested it back into his startup. And now his startup, OnSight Technologies, has done really, really well. Rick, why don't you pile on from there?
Yeah, it's just, a great story. When we looked at founding the Growth Factory, we said we want to invest in early stage companies, and it's the hardest stage to invest in, right? There's not a lot of data, no customer data usually, very little sales data. You can have elaborate spreadsheets with the best models in the world, but it doesn't matter until that first dollar, is in. And Derek, I remember downstairs in this co-working space, him walking in with a piece of paper and a robot and saying, I'm going to build these. And I said, have you built robots before? He goes, no. And he says, but I know this is where the market needs to go, and I'm going to do it. And I remember looking at him and saying, yeah, that's the data I need, that conviction, that commitment, that market understanding, right? That founder market fit. And I remember some of our early meetings as team, Growth Factory team, and people saying like, challenging the company again, even before there was even a start really. And I said, I'm betting on this guy. He's going to win. I don't know how he's going to do it, And I know there's going to be ups and downs, but he's going to do it. And then to go from there, and I'll let Derek kind of, fill in from here, but to see the backyard, in every step of this company's journey help, and to see not only how we help directly, but how Derek built his team and how he used his previous success and how he brought those people back and, integrated them and, went right time, right place for those people. It's just incredibly fun to celebrate, what the backyard's capable of. But it always starts with great founders. So meet Derek Chase.
Derek Chase, what did you build and what have you done with this thing?
Yeah, it really started out in the solar industry. Everybody started inspecting everything with drones. They're like flying drones over, taking pictures with thermal. And there's this big movement of like, well, hey, I don't think we need to actually walk around and inspect this stuff anymore because we've got these drones. And sites are huge. It's super hot out there. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I knew from personal experience, all the issues were underneath the solar panels and you couldn't see them from the drones. And that just kind of always stuck with me to the point to where on my previous exit, I had them carve it out of my contract. So I called the shot 2 years before we even got going in the project. I had the idea and I was like, hey, I want to make sure that eventually I want to do this. There's no issues when we do. So yeah, that was the premise. I'm like, all right, you need to be on the ground to see this stuff. And then I didn't really know how to get there. Also, robots at the time weren't where they are today. There wasn't all this investment, and NVIDIA wasn't what it is today. AI wasn't what it is today. So some of it is, and you guys hear this all the time, how do you run into these things, right? If you look at NVIDIA, it was a computer gaming company. They ran into crypto and AI and all this other stuff, right? And so it was just a passion project that eventually we ran into robotics came, the industry grew. There's a big growth through the Biden administration with a bunch of incentives. And so there's a lot of things that, you get started early and then the other things around the world kind of help you out as you're along those trails and you get lucky a little bit, right? But I think it needs to be grounded in a real sensible passion and you actually know what the real problem is that you're solving, and the rest of it, is up to time and the rest of the world of how it kind of evolves.
Yeah, well, you've definitely executed. And so we'll talk. You recently had a transaction in your company, and it was really the first. The Growth Factory started making investments a little over 3 to 4 years ago, and you are our first liquidity event where we've actually been able to get money, profits from the sale of your company. You sold your company, and we were able to redistribute it back to our shareholders, and it was a really good feeling for a young venture capital firm to begin to show actual success. A lot of our companies have gone up in value, but to actually start getting money back and be able to distribute that back to our shareholders is it feels good. So thank you for that. A little bit about the company though. So a little bit more, excuse me. So the robots, they are out at these solar farms that are typically in more remote locations. So they're actually replacing workers that had to drive out to a remote location potentially and inspect. Now there is real-time activity happening and information sharing that the robots are doing that is really saving companies that are managing solar farms. It's really saving them on manpower. Is that sort of the main premise, or is there more?
Yeah. Manpower, but also some of these sites, they literally have 1 million solar panels. If you have 1 million solar panels, that's 2 million connectors. That's 4 million pieces of hardware. There's just so much at that scale to even inspect and keep track of. And the system's supposed to last 20 years. And it lives outside, and the solar plants are built in the harshest environments because that's where the cheapest land is. So, if you build a really big solar site, you may not know there's a systemic issue or a quality defect on the product. If you never go out there and take a look around, you get into year 5, you have to redo everything. It's millions of dollars. And so the robot's really the only way to do the most comprehensive analysis of your whole site, right? So you think, your car, sure, whatever, you're going to go check the oil. But there's a lot of things that could go wrong with the car. And every now and then you got to do that 500-point check or whatever, right? That's what we do. We do that 500 point check on acres and acres of solar. And then because it's done by the robot, it can just like take unlimited pictures. It can download them all and GPS tags them. Like, we've also streamlined all of the data collection and presentation of that data, because you can automate, like with your phone, the GPS isn't that accurate, doesn't have that much storage, the pictures aren't that high quality. There's like a lot of issues. Like the imagery is not consistent. It's not all from the same phones if you send 10 different guys out there. So there's all this inconsistency of data collection. We make the data like really consistent so it could digest it all. We can apply AI to it, computer vision. And we have another product, the Alcam, which is an outdoor smoke and fire detector, which I'm super proud of that, because when you're in a startup, everybody's like focused on your core product the whole time. Your board will tell you that. Every business consultant in the world will tell you that. And while we were going along, we launched an entirely new hardware product with startup investors. And I think they just kind of bit their lips while we did it. But it turned out to be a huge success, and it totally worked. We have patents on it. We have the first like outdoor smoke detector for solar sites. And honestly, that 1-2 punch is what got us a lot more interest than if we were just, one trick pony.
That's really interesting. So, okay, so I'll throw this question sort of at both of you, and maybe you guys can riff off of each other, because Rick is from, I'm 62, I've owned my own business my whole life, and I've always kind of thought I was pretty creative in terms of like connecting dots, and engineering wins is kind of our company tagline, if you will, but we actually do that. And there's nobody I've ever met in my life that's better at it than Rick Spencer. He sees opportunity for engineering a win where most people kind of walk right by it obliviously. So, and where engineering wins, it's usually where there's an opportunity, or maybe where there's a problem. So, Rick, from that standpoint, what problems maybe did you see with Derek? And I don't even need to characterize it as a problem, but what hurdles that he needed to get over did you feel like you saw? And how did you see him get over that? And where was the growth factory involved, if at all?
Yeah, I think, starting with team, right? You can't build a great startup without team. So, it started with Derek, and then he brought on some partners that he had experience with, but then he needed some technical talent. So we introduced him to one of our advisors, Tim Keller, and he got some of his first engineers. And these were, world-class engineers, right? Yep. Here in our backyard. It wasn't just like, here's some engineers, hopefully they work out. I mean, these guys were working on NASA projects, and they saw the vision and saw, what Derek could do as a founder, and they said, I'm joining that team. So, it all starts with team, and we just made the introductions. We're not going to take credit for how Derek had to recruit those people, sell them, get them on board, get them excited, keep them excited. That's what he does really well. But seeing the opportunity and saying, I think that's where this growth factor thing all started, is Sacramento is underestimated, right? So people would say, why would you build a robotic company here in Sacramento? Do it somewhere else. And so, that's what fires me up, is proving people wrong, to say, no, here's this talent. And then, product, right? So people like ANSYNC, and, as they needed to accelerate product development, introducing them to other partners. And then it's, a lot of it is, just working with founders. That's what I love doing. Sometimes it's a therapy. It feels like therapy. Sometimes it's just a little encouragement where it's like, man, I just got beat up by this investor. This just happened with this customer. This team member just did this, right? And they just need someone to say, you can do it. Keep going, keep grinding, and stay focused. And, those words and that confidence inspires them to execute on their vision.
So I'll let you elaborate either on that, or was there like one big hurdle you really thought you were gonna have trouble with, and and what happened?
Yeah, there were a couple along the way. Rick was definitely my venting buddy. Or
what did you say?
Rick, if anything, would say, dude, let's go grab a game, or it was just like, this should be fun, man. And I'm like, all right, let's go have some fun. All right, fine. Because when you're doing these things, it's like full RPM in your brain, like 12 hours a day, just like full speed. And so every now and then he'd give me like a little break, and we go watch Ohtani play, or go to All-Star, or what do we go, Home Run Derby, or he'd always just like kind of give me those cool breaks. And then you get back at it. But yeah, tremendous network. I think we ran into across the board. We literally utilized, I think, every resource you can in Sacramento, right? So Tim Keller also had Inventopia, which was like a cool little place to kind of start building our robots, and it was convenient for our early engineers. And then we kind of like graduated to the different like areas of Sacramento. But yeah, some brilliant guys, John Shepard, Graham Ryland, were really, you know, you could have all the knowledge. You really need a great pairing of like industry know-how and like domain expertise, and then you need like the technical talent to pull it off, and like that's really where the marriage happens. You see so many companies where people are just technical and they don't really understand how to sell it or what the market needs, or they don't have a network within the market. So that combo to us and the mutual respect on both sides, you know, like it's intimidating at first when, you know, we have multiple PhDs on the team and you're like managing these guys and you're like, you're way smarter than me. How am I possibly telling you what to do? But they've got to kind of, empower you to give them that feedback, and, you know, they got to be cool about it too. It's got to work on both sides.
Yeah. One of the things that's always struck me about you, Derek, and the first time you came on the show, I listened to it today because I knew you were coming on and I just wanted to reminisce a little bit. You were 30 at the time, super humble. You'd hired your high school buddies to help you build a solar company, and you'd been laid off from some kind of downsizing with the larger company, and just sharing the story of, you know, in a very humble way of how you and your buddies, you know, figured it out because you had all this experience, and you shared the experience with your team, even though they were sort of novice to the solar industry. You shared it and taught them. It sounds like at some level that's what happened with OnSight. You had this knowledge and you brought in some non-industry people and just started sharing your vision, and you together you figured this out. So in your humble way. And I remember also you've come on the show I think a time or two since. You've spoken at GFX, and every time that you do, you always have this I don't know if you've been accused of this by the people you recruited, you know, these people that got excited about this, but you don't sell it. You sort of say, like, I think this is something. You always downplay the possibility a little bit. You're not overly salesy in the way that you share what you're working on. I think that's a really interesting personality trait or style.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it. What's really uncomfortable is we're winning awards locally. Like, man, we got like Startup of the Year or something, or like multiple awards to the SAC Business Journal, or even through the Growth Factory, or we got like Most Admirable CEO. You're like winning these awards while you're building it, and I'm like, man, this could go totally wrong, and we may not be successful. So those are actually really uncomfortable awards to receive. Now that we've had some success, I feel a lot more comfortable talking about it. But that was always, those made me uncomfortable because you're like,
what if it doesn't work?
I got this award and the whole thing could like go south, and so that was interesting. That was just kind of that was tough to navigate. I don't know on my end, because like I want to like win the game and then I'm happy to celebrate, but it's like winning a award mid-game is a little tough. I'm like, game's not over.
Well, it's interesting because Rick can agree with this. We look at a lot of people, a lot of founders that are presenting their ideas, and typically we're looking at the founder. Obviously the idea is paramount as well. But the founders that exude confidence, we typically are going that route. You came in the first time and you're like, I don't know, I'm not the typical type of, it wasn't a pitch. It was like, I don't know, you're a friend. I want to, just want to be honest with you. And I was like, I would loved it. It's like, okay, that was really cool. But now you've got all these other venture capitalists backing you. When you went to talk to them, like I see the Moneta Ventures hat that you're wearing, and I know there's other investors. Did you go in with that, oh, shucks, I think I got something, but I'm not sure type attitude? Or did you did you decide to present with more, I guess, confident, not that you weren't confident, but present in a way where the listener takes it as, oh man, I don't want to miss this opportunity?
Yeah, I think we had just the right amount of traction at each stage to where we felt comfortable for what we were presenting. So by the time we got to Mineta, we had some traction. We felt pretty good about it. Maybe had some alternative options. But there's something too about in the sales process of, if you can't overly define it, there's some blue skies there, and it could be even bigger than anybody else knows. Mm-hmm. So, if you think about, it's got to be a little scary, a little risky to make a good return. At the end of the day, is something I've kind of learned throughout just kind of like the VC process or whatever. I mean, if you've got a simple business that everybody could see the end of the road on, like nobody's really that interested in it. Mm-hmm. So I think, we had just the right amount of potential of where it could go. And I mean, this is still going, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you look at who acquired us, this group builds 800 megawatts a week. Is the largest company in the world to go deploy our technology to. So you're, it could be the largest ground robotics company in the world in a very short period of time. Like I never saw that. So that's the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know how big this can be. And you're trying to be honest with people, but I also think it's a decent selling point as well when you're pitching this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to find out more about where it's going and what it is now. But I have to, so Mineta Ventures, I invested into, I think, a couple of their funds, and the people there are really close to Rick and I. Lokesh Sakaria and his team have really helped the Growth Factory a lot as we were figuring out how to launch the Growth Factory. They've been by our side the entire time, almost like having a big brother helping us build our venture fund. What was it like pitching them versus like talking to me and Rick here at the Growth Factory? Was it more formal? Did they put you through a lot more, testing, a lot more rigor?
Yeah. And their process, they kind of vote by committee. So there's like a lot of people who have to agree on this, and they all have different backgrounds. So, you've got to win those folks over one by one. Hardware was traditionally a place where a lot of groups would stay away from, but now hardware plus like AI or software is actually what I'm hearing is the place to be. So I think we were just kind of like at the beginning of that, but now those companies, now they're looking for those things because it differentiates you versus, AI software is a bit of a crapshoot these days. So, you definitely got to be way more buttoned up. They're, scrutinizing your numbers way more. Things got to be way cleaner. You've got to have more market feedback, diversity of customers. Like, they're serious. They don't mess around. And we had to be really prepared for that group. Even though we had a great relationship there, sometimes that doesn't go in your favor. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people don't want to jeopardize that relationship. And I don't even know if they were all the way in on us like in the beginning. I think it was a bit of a roll of dice. But that's kind of how it's been. It's been market pull the whole time. And you don't really know when you put something out there, whether everybody's going to love it or not. And that's kind of half of the fun along the way. But they're by the end of the day, they got on board and came through pretty quickly. When you're raising capital too, it's tough. While you're you're still burning cash, you still there's like this window that's closing, and so that situation's always dynamic, and they were actually really fair during that process. So
yeah, and we typically will follow on, like we'll help. Maybe we'll be the first check in. I think like we were with you, and then the company does well, and more venture capital comes in. And Rick, oftentimes you're a large part of bringing that capital together or helping prepare our startups so that they know what they're getting into at that next step if they haven't been there before. Yeah. Thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's, like Derek said, it's traction, right? And so when we saw Derek, there was no traction, it was vision, right? Yep. And so that's what, the stage that we invest in. And that's why the assessment of the founder is so important. And then it's how do we help them get that traction? Well, we start with team, then, we're able to introduce, potential customers, right? And obviously Derek's network that he had from that, anywhere from his baseball coach, Dusty Baker, where he's testing, on his property to, other former customers and his network. I mean, Derek really went to work to say, how do I get this out there? And that's what I was always impressed with, was Derek was like, how many robots are working, right? Like, how many robots are working just like his team is working? And that was a big metric for his company. And so that drive just kept, and he could use that. So, I mean, what's so important is, Moneta or whoever digs into the model, and they're going to want to look at the economics and all the things. But if you can every week just say another robot, another milestone, more data, you have to tell them where you're going. And then when you can deliver over and over again, and that's what Derek's so good at, is that, setting that pace and setting that execution plan, and then just being able to nudge them every week and say another robot out there, another data point, another customer. And ultimately, and I think you'd probably agree, that momentum, seals the deal, right? Like, if it's the right partner, it may not be the right partner, but if it's the right partner, ultimately they can't argue momentum.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I think you were like, I saw something about Mark posting something about books he were reading or something, top 5 books he read or something like that on the way here. And book that I like is Backable, and it's just really about like, show up to the meeting on time. Like, it's really simple stuff. Show up to the meeting on time, have your presentations done, financials dialed, like, just deliver on what you said you were going to do, and then follow up. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We did it. And if you say that enough to somebody, they start to builds trust. Builds a little FOMO. Little FOMO is always good in the VC world, of like, this thing's taking off, man. Like, you don't want to miss out on it, right? And you just got to keep people informed. Like, you know how it is. I mean, if you're allocating millions of dollars, like, you want to be able to think about it. You want to see a little bit of traction. You want like just more data points that you're going to collect before you make those decisions. So, definitely a big part of it, of, tell everybody what you're going to do and then go do it.
And I think for the founders that are listening, this is so important, right? Because I think many would think, oh, I pitch a VC and I just wait, right? I don't control my destiny. And Derek was always taking that approach of, no, like, I'm feeding them to create that FOMO, to create that momentum, to create that connection. And also not just saying, oh, I'm going to count on that one VC, and it's either they say yes or they say no, and that's the future of the company.
And they don't like to be in that position either. That's a tough position to put somebody in, of like, hey, if you don't save our company right now, like, we're going to go out of. Nobody likes to invest like that. You got to have other investors lined up, and like, you want to make people feel comfortable about making that investment. Or, you'll probably get jammed pretty hard on whatever the deal ends up being, right?
Yeah. What can you tell us about the exit, or the, I don't know if, is exit the right term? You sold the company, or there was some kind of transaction. What can you describe about that? Is it all public? Is it, I don't want to like go where I'm,
No, it's a full acquisition from a publicly traded company. They're called Nextracker. They actually, what's kind of cool about it, like, total alignment, founder led company, which is a big deal to me. I like to know where the buck stops. And I also think founder led companies have a strategic advantage in terms of, he could go buy a robotics company, or he could, he can do competitive things that his intuition allows him to do, where if you have another company ran by 10 different people, just decisions get made slower. So I think it's a competitive advantage. I was a big fan of him. We gelled right away. $9 billion company, global leader in what they do. They build the like, if you guys see solar panels in these big fields, the solar panels rotate. They build the thing that like follows the sun. They call it a solar tracker, right? So all this steel that the panels mount to, and they follow the sun. It's technically the world's largest robot. So it's hardware plus automation to create value. That's what we do. So very well aligned there. They also brought on Chief AI and Robotics Officer, this gentleman, Dr. Francesco, and he's brilliant. So we get to apply his knowledge, and there's a lot of other reasons why it made sense for us to go there. But yeah, full exit, onboarded the whole team. Really, really cool for them to kind of go join this larger company and go through this merger. I joined now I'm like VP of Robotics and AI over there. So you've got this huge infrastructure to play with, to apply this new technology and kind of build this ecosystem and bring automation into the solar industry. That's still super interesting to me. Yeah.
Was it an unsolicited type of offer? You guys you had some kind of partnership, and then all of a sudden they figure buy you while you're still growing.
We were really out. We were raising our Series A, and we had some great offers. This is like not an easy decision. It was dream position to be in. Multiple offers that were very attractive by very reputable groups that were like dream investors to me. So it was a lot of deep thinking and chatting with ChatGPT on what offers better. And like I actually used ChatGPT to analyze the deals and
That's cool.
all the risk. And it was actually wildly helpful because it's not partisan.
biased,
It's not biased in any way. So I don't know. So anyways, a couple dream offers on the table. Went to pitch Nextracker as a customer because we can see a lot of like manufacturer data. We can inspect all their stuff, give them a ton of information to help them out. And then we just started talking about how complementary kind of the businesses were, and it started to make a lot of sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you're using ChatGPT on that kind of thing, obviously you can ask the numbers and the terms because it's not just price; some of it is terms. How did you ask? How old are you? 40?
Yeah.
So did you say, I'm 40? Is this the time I should be taking more chips off the table?
Yeah.
Here's my past experience. I mean, because to me, that's got to be part of a decision like this. Is like, where am I at in my career? And how does that fit with me and my, let's call it my lifestyle or my personal goals as well?
Yeah, I think you've got to remove yourself from that equation.
Okay.
I think the business is the business. It's like its own being.
What's best for the business?
It's got to be. Yeah. If you can't, I mean, you guys know, you can't have a founder who's in a vulnerable position that makes a bad decision for the company because they can't pay their bills or something. Like, that can't happen. There's too many other people involved in that. So I look at it really holistically. Investors are important to me to get their return. Employees and staff and making sure everybody else has a good kind of journey there. The board happy with it? So I just really took pulse across everybody. Ultimately, I own the majority of the company, so I kind of had to like push things one way or the other, at least share my opinion with everybody. And we just kind of ran all the math. If it probably wasn't Nextracker and Dan Sugar, their CEO, like we probably wouldn't do the deal. It just wouldn't have been the right group. But it was kind of right group, right time. One of those situations. But we had some good offers too, which put us in a situation comfortable to go negotiate a deal. But both paths would have been fine. It was we worked very hard to put ourselves in that position to have, pick your best choice of what makes sense for everybody. Yeah.
So you're staying with the company in a VP role. Sounds like you're super excited about what you're going to be doing and help integrate your stuff into the business. How has this whole thing sort of changed your life besides, I guess, maybe your day-to-day, what you do all day? I guess you're going to continue to grow the business, but somehow it's got to integrate as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're on board in a small company, startup with this group, just for like scale, they have a $5 billion backlog, right? And we did $1.5 million last year in revenue. So, it's just finding other ways to add value within the organization. We think, with our data, we could actually like feed that back in, add some additional value. There's, how do we like figure all this out? While also, I tell everybody, I go, look, this thing's still, the analogy I use since we're wearing baseball jerseys is I'm like, look, this is like your hot prospect in the minor leagues. Just let them mature. You know what I mean? You don't want to bring them up too early and blow their confidence or scale too quickly and ruin the quality. I'm like, look, just let it grow at its pace. One of the big lessons I learned in this, growing this business versus like maybe like a less experienced CEO in my last company, a lot less pivoting. Like if you're doing really deep technical work with really smart people, you gotta just let them work. You gotta you can't go, and then we're gonna do this, and that didn't work, we're gonna do that. You gotta just kind of stay on path for a really long period of time to create real value. That was probably the biggest lesson I learned, and a lot of it was from the guys on the technical team, but it was just being really patient. If you're doing something really hard and differentiated, right? Like we had a service company, you could go as fast as you want with that. But if you're going to do some real deep tech, something really innovative, you've got to just be like heads down, working super hard for a long period of time. And you can't, every pivot is a massive distraction and very costly. And you're just trying to avoid like switching costs along the way. So I don't know. That's one thing I'll share that I learned kind of on this journey was like, you just got to keep going and you can't pivot all the time or overthink things along the way.
Well, even as investors, we're learning too. So maybe I'll throw that over to Rick in terms of did your perspective, how did Derek and OnSight's journey change your perspective? Any takeaways, any learnings, any confirmations maybe even?
Yeah, I'll set this up and then Derek can tell more about, the OWL and its development because I think this is a really powerful lesson for founders to hear. And so they launched with the ground robot, which they call the Bulldog now. Yep. And so, that was the business. And I remember sharing updates with our investors and saying, when Derek started to say, hey, I think we have something with this OWL camera. So this is another product, a rooftop camera. And Derek shared a little bit about it. And he kept updating me on, I think there's something here. Here's the next data point. Here's all these milestones. And when I was updating investors, I said, we were already excited about the business just with one robot. And you add this, and it's like a whole other business. But it's not competing, it's parallel, right? And it's the same customers, same technical team. But it's now not only is just taking what was already a business we're excited about, but almost 3x'd the opportunity. And so, that was a big moment for me when people would say, we always get the question, who are you excited about? Mm-hmm. And I would always share OnSight as, one of our top 3 companies that we were excited about. And this development was one of those key breakthroughs, right? Of, wow, like they were already on an exciting trajectory and now they've got this other option. And if that one slows down because, something happens with robots or this or that, they've got this whole other computer vision data, business building. And so, I would say, Derek, for those that are listening, you talked a little bit earlier about the difficulty of making that decision, right? Because you're going to have people that say focus, you're going to have, people that doubt you, and that could be team members, internal, that could be board members, that could be investors. So,
ChatGPT.
Yeah. So maybe walk us through, like, how did you make that decision, right? Like when you thought about, okay, we're doing this, because you ultimately decided we're doing this. And so, leading up to that, what did you think about? How did you work through it? And when you made that decision, why did you feel so convicted?
Yeah, really, we were seeing 2 data points. One is as we deployed the robot, we started to gather all this data that showed that things were getting so hot they were starting fires on these solar sites. And then so you just go, and then I'm seeing other stories of like 100 acres burnt down on a solar site or whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm just passionate about the industry. I'm like, we got to stop this before, somebody's going to deny building a solar site because it starts a fire or something. So one day I just asked the team, I learned about computer vision. That's the coolest thing about building this company is you get to work with like wildly smart people and you go like, tell me about that, tell me how that works. And that's what, so I just shot a message out. Hey, can we detect smoke and fire with our computer vision models? I'm like, no, but we need all this stuff to do it. I'm like, all right, go do it. And I saw the robot was taking a kind of a long time. Like it was just deep tech. It's like autonomous driving and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I need something to go a little bit faster. We saw the opportunity for that. No other product has existed like it because it's one of those, and here's one of the things, if you want to find out where the opportunity is, it's one of those things nobody wants to talk about. Solar, everybody wants to promote because it's green and it's like only positive news for solar is like the rule, right? And so they're burying all these stories. And so I'm like, I don't think anybody thinks this is an issue, let alone an opportunity, but I know in the industry, like people are battling this. So I don't know. I always look for those opportunities that are like a little bit under the like political correctness. I think there's some opportunity there. So yeah. Anyways, I think we kind of built it in stealth a little bit because you gotta kind of, to go sell it to the board, you gotta like, hey, we kind of did this thing, but it's working. Man, we spent $1 million on R&D on that, like right in the middle of like, every dollar really matters. There's a big bet. If anything, this was just like, this whole journey was big bet after big bet. And a lot of it was like Rick and a couple guys on the board. That's how you got to play that game. It's not private equity stuff. It is big bets until you break through these really challenging things that differentiate you from another company. And ultimately, that's what makes you valuable, is you took some wild risk that in a corporation, like you can't get that shit done. Like you can't go make wild, risky investments nonstop. You'll lose your job, right? So that's why, these groups go and acquire you, is because you made some bets they couldn't traditionally do to get you to a point that they probably wouldn't have gotten to.
Rick, would you mind, you got out some champagne before the meeting. Maybe it's time to break that out, because we get into these final questions that we might talk about. Could you pour each of us
I'm happy to pour you a glass of champagne,
would you
Mark.
pour me one? Since you are the one that suggested the idea, you pulled out some Adrian Blanco champagne.
Yeah, and
from our favorite
apparently
jewelry.
this hasn't been done on the Mark Haney Show, so I'm popping the first cork here.
This is a toast
sweet.
to
Yeah.
the sound of an Adrian Blanco. Go buy some jewelry over at Adrian's place, and he'll give you some champagne, or invite him to come on your podcast. And Derek, you might be doing a podcast here soon. Bring Adrian over to hang out, and maybe he'll bring some champagne for you. But we'll take a drink of this, and maybe Rick, you're really good at providing a toast. But as I begin to, you have a drink, not that we're going to get too buzzed, but it makes me sort of think about just some of the personal ways that selling a company like this. You've already had an exit, Rick. You built companies. You've had exit. I've had a few too. Does it change you? Obviously it changes your bank account, but what does that do in terms of, like, I don't know, changing you as a human? And I'm just kind of curious about that. Have you got come to grips with that?
I think I went through the process before on the last. You guys want cheers?
Cheers, yeah. Rick, you want to do it to us?
Well, I'll borrow from you, Mark. Okay. So nobody builds a truly great company alone. So here's to the community that we're building, because we're not done yet. And Derek, appreciate you and everything you've done for us.
Here, Derek Chase. Cheers. Take a sip. Adrian, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Not bad.
Yeah, it goes down nice. Okay, so how has it changed you besides your bank account? Or obviously it's changed the bank account. So maybe share with us, did you go out and buy yourself a new toy? Is it, I
didn't have the need for any of that. Like the first exit, you like get a Raptor, right? Then you realize that's dumb and you sell it. I don't like take the poll on people who have done that. But yeah, I kind of had my family life's in a good spot. My kids are a good age. Like I wasn't yearning for anything, which is why I haven't even really taken a day off since we exited. I'm really excited about this next opportunity. We got a lot of work to do. All of our products are sold out, full demand. And I kind of like that distraction. Keeps me from like spending money and doing stupid shit. So,
and Derek's humble. I'm going to interrupt him just because I think this is what helps him be successful. Is I've talked to him multiple times since the acquisition, and not once has he said, "Oh, I'm planning this trip. I'm buying this thing." He's like, "How do I invest? Where do I look? Where's the next opportunity?" Right? He's still hungry. He's not saying like, "Oh, I've succeeded, so let me retire, let me relax." He's still hungry for learning. He's trying. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to make a movie with ChatGPT." It's like, okay, where do I deploy this money? I'm thinking about this. And so that hunger, as you know, Mark, never dies, right? Yeah. And that's where
part of it's kind of like just who you are. You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're only 40, so there's a lot more time. You can still think really big. You're in the middle innings of your career.
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess to your point, what I did do is reinvested in the funds that invested in us, and some of those were in the Bay Area, which I didn't have a great network in. So, Convective Capital invested in that company, Valo Ventures, Greenhouse Partners over there. So. The goal is to kind of at least be a little bit of a bridge from Sacramento to the Bay on maybe helping some other companies eventually, or if we have like, it's funny because everybody will say, all right, man, congrats. What's next? You know, it's like the answer you probably, or the question you get the most. And I'm like, man, the ideas don't just come. Like, I don't know. I'm not sitting on nothing. You know, we don't, that stuff has to like evolve. And I think you gotta go get some data, and go explore and just learn a little bit before you can really figure that stuff out. It's not like, but I will say as certain things settle, your brain just naturally, you know, starts putting pieces together. But kind of the opportunity Nextracker gave me, and you never know how these things work out, to build this kind of robotic infrastructure on a global scale. That's a hell of a challenge. It's super interesting. The team's really cool. They incentivized us all well. So I'm pretty happy with it. To be honest, I like truly like robotics and AI. Like, I enjoy working on what I work on every day. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm setting it up right now, is just build a little foundation, take a breather. Like, man, I personally feel so much liability when you got all this money invested, all these employees there. Like, I don't take that shit lightly. And so you're not sleeping well for years. You know what I mean? You're like, you're stressed out, man. And you're cranking, like, I always just call it the RPM of like, that's like the deep, you know, like deep think mode in ChatGPT or whatever. Like, you're in that state constantly, and it's very distracting. And so you got to take a little breather from that, I think, for a little bit to be healthy.
Well, last year we went to a Niner game, and I remember talking to you all about business, your business, maybe a little bit about ours, but that was kind of the talk. We talked some football as well, so maybe we catch in another game. This year, you take a Sunday off, and we go catch another game and talk about how great we're all going to be in the rest of this journey.
Oh, yeah, great seats, by the way.
Thank you.
You know, you started, Mark, with sharing 10 years ago that Derek was on the show, and so I'd love, as we kind of close out, for Derek, if you were to go back 10 years and talk to that Derek Chase, what would you share with him?
Number one, I think it is cool to point out. I remember I had a piece of paper, and everybody else was saying, hey, I don't know if this is possible. Mark was the only one saying, like, I don't think you're thinking big enough. And I was like, oh, shit. All right. Nobody's ever said that to me, because usually I'm thinking too big. And I was like, oh, okay. And that really challenged me. I'm like, all right, you need to think a little bigger here. And so that was really inspirational. So
thanks, buddy.
Appreciate that. What was the question? I had to get that out.
If you went back 10 years and talked to yourself, what would you share?
I don't know. You know, those questions, I'm always just who I am, and I'm in the moment. I try to be genuine. So I don't know. You in the moment, you always feel like you're doing the right thing. But it's all the cliches of just like keep going and determination. It's just like the further you go down the road, the more you learn.
I think what you said, and how much I know you, is like stay true to yourself, right? Because I think maybe people try to change too much and try to be other people, and that's where it goes wrong, right? Because if you're not true to yourself and you don't know your strengths,
I don't know how you can lead something if you're getting everybody's opinions. And there's actually a book, Blink, right?
I listened to our show that we did 10 years ago. You brought up that book.
Yeah. Ernie Banks told me to read it when I was sitting in the Cubs dugout. I got to meet him before he passed away. And so I read it, and I was just like, you got to trust your instincts and intuition. And there's all this like data from the time your thought gets to like you talking about it that clouds that stuff sometimes. It was a helpful book for me. I think it goes a little far, honestly. You should actually take in some other people's opinions before you do things. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of helped me out in some of this stuff.
Well, thanks again for everything that you've done for the Growth Factory, obviously from a financial perspective, but we're a startup as well, and confidence is fragile. So, we get out of the gate and have our ups and downs, and having success stories to be able to share is part of what helps us develop our confidence. Our other partners and investors, they develop confidence when that happens. And so you are a part of, I think, building confidence for the Growth Factory, for Sacramento startups, for Sacramento entrepreneurship. And a lot of times getting recognized as somebody who's really leading in a positive way. Because you can become, sometimes the entrepreneurs are kind of like the unsung heroes, but in reality, you are helping so many people that you don't even know, really. Just by you winning, it provides inspiration for the rest of us.
Yeah, well, just to add to that, $50,000 investment from you guys, I think was the first check. The total amount of capital back into SAC after that was like, millions and millions of dollars, whether it was to people he gave equity to join the company, Moneta, Growth Factory, like that's a lot of money that came back into those people went out and they bought houses and cars. And,
yes, sir.
Doug got the Porsche, right? Our CFO, Doug got to buy his dream car. So shout out to Doug. That's my right hand man, dude. Like
he was with you in SunSystems too, huh?
He taught me manage through financials. So we always start with the financials, and then we make every other decision. So yeah, big shout out to Doug.
Very cool. Well, thanks for everything. Right it's on. Like we could keep hugging each other all day, but this is just awesome. So thank you very much, both you guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
cheers, guys.
You.
Yeah,
cheers.
Right on. Cheers.
Thanks for watching today's show. My goal for every episode is that you find a takeaway, something tangible you can use in your business today. And if you have a comment about a favorite takeaway, feel free to put it in the box below. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up on the show, don't forget to let me know. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship. Because at Haney Biz, we are always by your side.